and we met up, but I wasn't living here then, so I came here in 1944.
Oh, where were you living before?
Well, I was in the service, as I say,
Oh, I see.
I'm telling the young ladies, but we have to get to a beginning point.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to let you start.
Okay.
You got to have a beginning, and you got the papers I wrote.
Okay, they're over here.
You don't want the discharge papers, I mean, that's...
Yeah, that's probably-
fine.
I have this.
Oh, you have that. Okay, so you do have
Do
that.
you need this?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, she's got it. She's got it.
So
Very
forth.
good. Okay, so let's get started.
Are we
So
rolling?
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's
So-
always the problem.
All right.
Where do you begin history?
And where do you want to go from there?
I would like you to please tell us your title and your rank.
My name is Alan Colter. My highest rank when I was discharged was a captain in the Army Air Corps. 'Cause that's what it was referred to in those days. And I got out in September, latter part of September 1945. I served for 4 years and maybe 3 months. And at that time, when armistice, when Japan surrendered in August, they went by the number of points that you accumulated during your years of service. And if the war ended in August, I got out in September, meaning I had a hell of a lot of points that I received for what I decided time, combat time, overseas time, and everything else.
How old were you when you were drafted?
I can't hear.
How old were you when you were
I'm
drafted?
23.
You were
As I
23?
said, right, 1941, July 17th, after they let me finish my college term, just that term. I didn't finish college. Then they drafted me to Camp Upton, New York, which was a center for all draftees from up north, New York. As I stayed there July, August, September, October. And about October, I think it was, the Army Air Corps figured out they're going to need more pilots. And they gave an exam, physical and mental, which was trigonometry, everything that, and I was fortunate enough at a camp up there, there were 7 of us, and that was a lot of people, passed that exam. And to go to the Aviation Cadet Corps. So the next class would start in December. So they thought it would be very good if I had some infantry training, and then November or October, I think it's got it in there, they sent me to Camp Wheeler, Georgia, which is in Macon. And I was there when December 7th came. And at that point, they started getting all the ones that had passed that exam started, and they sent me to Montgomery, Alabama, Maxwell Field, in December of 1942 to start. And at that point, I went to pilot's training in Bennettsville, South Carolina. Well, I didn't do so good as a pilot. I claim because I came from New York, I was a Yankee, and they had all the rebels down here. I didn't get a fair shake. So they called it washed out. They washed me out, sent me back, but they really needed, I guess, navigators. My training, I was an accountant. I took accounting at City College. And they figured I would know more about figures. And they took me down to go to navigation school in Mather Field, Sacramento, California. And that's where they sent me. And I graduated with the class of 42-11 That means it was the 11th class to go graduate from Mather Field. Now, the class before us, 4210, is the class I was supposed to be in, but just two other fellows and myself goofed off on the way to Sacramento from Alabama, and we got to Mather Field late, and they wouldn't accept us at that point to go to this class. They put us in the next. And it was fortunate for me because 4210, as far as I was concerned, they sent to England, 5th to the 8th Air Force, which I was a little rougher. I joined the 5th Air Force in the Southwest Pacific when they graduated in September of 1942.
Did you have any frightening experiences as a
Any what?
navigator? Did you have any frightening experiences as a navigator?
Anytime you get in an airplane, it was frightening in those days. We were all novices, every one of us, and didn't know anything. But, yeah, we get lost sometimes, but see, in those days, you didn't have what is known as all you had to do is punch a button and the lines would come across and tell you exactly where you are. We had to use what is called dead reckoning, pilotage, radio, and celestial. Those are our 4 ways of navigating. And every one of them is a radio, naturally. There's a beam that someone can send out, but when you're in enemy territory, the enemy can send out a beam, falsify it. You can go in the wrong direction and never get anything. Yes, it was many harrowing experiences as a navigator, or anyone in the airplane.
Did you make any close friendships while you were?
I made very close friendships, but it just after the war, I was very close to 2. My bombardier, T.O. Dunbar from Kentucky, and Donald Dietrich from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But I can't tell you where they are today.
How did you pass the time when you weren't flying?
How you pass the time? You don't have any time. I mean, it's things that are, they keep you busy there. See, I was what it's called in the Southwest Pacific. I don't know, I'm getting ahead. There's a lot of things that go between our training and October, I guess it was, November of 1942. We joined up after I graduated from Sacramento, which was Mather Field. We went to I was a navigator. I had to meet up with a crew that was going to, on a B-24 that was going to go into combat. And we assembled in Topeka, Kansas. I met up with my pilot, my co-pilot, my gunners, engineer, radio man, and so forth. From there, we flew to Long Beach, California, and got all our equipment, got our plane, and went to the state of Washington. From there, on November of 42, we flew nonstop from there to Hickam Field in Hawaii. That's 14 hours in those days. And the only way you could get there, this is at night, is a navigator has what is called a sextant and books. And he takes shots of the stars. And in those days, the top of the airplane there had a bubble, but the bubble would have refraction, so you never knew whether you were going to get a correct reading from the sextant. So in flight, you would open that, and you'd have the engineer or a gunner or whoever it was hold your legs while you shoot the thing so you don't get out of the airplane. And you would have to do that every few hours to see if the plane is on course. So after 14 hours, we landed at Hickam Field, which is where Pearl Harbor is. it's all dark and so forth, because this is 1942, which is just after the Battle of Midway. And from there, we flew south to a little island called Canton Island, which is the tallest thing on the island was a number of palm trees, 20 feet tall. But there was a Captain Rickenbacker, very famous pilot. He was the one that flew to Tokyo. And he had been flying, and 3 weeks before that, he left for Canton and was lost. And while we were flying, we were looking for him, but thankfully he was located later. What I'm trying to say is you have to hit an island about 1,200 miles away. They use what is called dead reckoning. You would purposely go off to the right or left, knowing you're going to miss it. And then you'd make your left turn or right turn, because if you head directly, and if you miss it, you're gone, and you only have gas for a certain length of time. So it was harrowing all the time whether you had enough gas to get to your next position. From there, we went to Fiji's, New Caledonia. But now remember, this is all Japanese territory that we're in. So you can't use radio because they send a false beam up from the submarine, and you'd be just flying out there, and you won't have any gas, and you're gone. There we landed at Brisbane, Australia.
How long did you stay in Australia?
I can't hear you.
How long did you stay in Australia for?
In Australia, we probably stayed 1 or 2 nights just to get on the ground, familiarize yourself, and of course then we would send up to the northern part of Australia, a place called Iron Range, where it rains 30 inches of rain a month.
Oh, wow.
A month. It's really all jungle, but you couldn't. And from Iron Range, which is this place right here. Well, it's in here.
It's a really neat book.
If you look through this, you will see Iron Range. But from Iron Range, there it is. All it was jungle. We lived in tents. Water, mosquito nets all around us. Sleep with a couple of towels wrapped around you so that the needles wouldn't go through you. That's what's Papua. And malaria was very frequent. Everybody gets that. You had to take. We didn't have quinine because I think it was known as Atabrine, which is a substitute.
Did you get sick at all?
I did. I got what it's called dengue fever, which is the closest thing to malaria. For years and years afterward, at a certain time of the year, I would get the fevers and shakes. But that was part of, like the boys that come back today had that. From Iron Range, which is the northern part of Australia, we would fly up to Port Moresby, which is New Guinea. From there, we would arm with 500-pound bombs and go and bomb the Japanese installations or ships or whatever like that. We couldn't stay there because the Japanese have full control. They'd come in and strafe and bomb almost every day and night, so you couldn't stay there until it was more secure. In fact, in March the 1st, 1943, they issued an order, telling all Americans to get off New Guinea. They're going to wipe us out. And that's when you could see those foxholes getting deeper and deeper in the ground as they come and bomb you every night.
What was your most memorable experience while you were in New Guinea?
Well, the most memorable, every night is memorable because, you see, you, you live with the same group of people, but you go out on a mission, and when you come home, they're not there, most lost. And we always came to the point, you always left something. You didn't ever shave, you didn't ever clean up, you always left something so that there was something for you to have to do when you got back. See, our losses were tremendous at the beginning because the Japanese had tremendous in the crew. I went up with two other crews and myself, our crew. And out of the 27, only 3 of us came home. That's right. My pilot and co-pilot, I flew with 7 different crews in the beginning. It just so happened that 2 of the navigators, because others did it too, when they got there, they wouldn't fly. In other words, they just wouldn't go. So I wasn't a hero, but I stepped into their places and took their mission. And in December it was. The first crew I flew across from Washington to Hickenfield and so forth. I had been flying with another crew because they needed a navigator. That night, my original crew, on takeoff from Iron Range, it was terrible runways. It was Captain Straw, Lieutenant Hope, and the others on that. They veered off, and the plane blew up with 500 pounders. Before it blew up, the pilot and the co-pilot had got out and one gunner. And that was terrible because I went down there, and if you ever smell flesh, human flesh, burning, you'll never forget it. And of course, these were my crew members, and I lost them. Captain Straw stopped flying. Lieutenant Hope continued to fly, and he was captured. He was shot down over Lae, New Guinea, and he was beheaded by the Japanese. After that, I told my commanding officer I wasn't going to fly with anybody else. So I had this one crew, and I stayed with them. And I came home. But,
How did
it was hard.
How did being in the war affect you when you got home? Was your family really excited to see you?
Fortunately, I met my wife here in Rosewood, and I moved back to Savannah, stayed here. I did all right. But it wasn't fun. Because every time you went out, you know you're going to have a harrowing experience because there wasn't enough of us. And when I came on home in July, they wrote me up in the papers up north. I got the Flying Cross. But it wasn't fun. Then I was after they came back, they sent me to Clovis, New Mexico as a squadron navigator to teach. From there, I went to Langley Field, Virginia. From Langley Field, Virginia, they sent us to Savannah called Clovis, Chatham Airfield here, which is no longer there. at Chatham Field and Hunter Field. Chatham Field, they closed, Hunter Field is still around. But they have, and there I was an instructor until I was discharged. And like I said, this boy downstairs, Herman, he was a student of mine.
What was one of your happiest memories
Happiest?
of that time?
Getting out.
Getting out?
Yeah, I thought my number was up too many times. I thought I had pushed all the buttons. It was much too close. Much too close. Because they were having terrible accidents right here in Savannah. Every time we went up, we never knew if, because the planes we were flying here were these old war-weary planes. And we thought we were even have sabotage. They thought sabotage was going on. We lost so many planes over from Chatham Field. In fact, they're still finding some of them up there in Carolina. They lose them over the ocean. But all in all, war is not fun. No way.
In what ways
Well, you see, first mission out, we lost our CO, our squadron commander, Colonel Meehan, and two other planes. Kept, because it's unfamiliar territory there. They got mountains over New Guinea, your own Stanley Mountains go up. You have to fly 14,000, 15,000 feet up to get over, and sometimes they'd send you on a mission, you didn't even have enough gas to get home. But that was war.
In what ways does World War II compare with what's happening in Iraq today? Is there a
Iraq is
comparison?
terrible. You don't have a chance. That's not a war. You can just walk along and somebody will shoot you. Here, I mean, you're in the jungle. We were. I mean, we knew where our enemy was, and they were vicious. They were terrible. They would tell you point blank, I mean, always save a bullet for yourself. And the natives there. But natives were friendly if you could intimidate them. But we moved up to New Guinea and then on further as they kept taking the island after island. The 5th Air Force moved on up to that. But they sent us home in June and July of '43. We were supposed to go on a bond selling tour. We had Sky Lady, that was our plane. And after we left, Sky Lady was shot down. So I was pretty lucky. That's all I can tell you is I was lucky.
Okay. Is there any other part of the Army that you would have wanted to be in, or were you happy being in that?
I had to go back, I'd be in the Navy.
In the Navy?
Yeah. Every time we saw a Navy ship, we knew things are getting better. They'd be safe. Because anything else we saw had to be Japanese. And they had that scarf around them, and man, they had zero. They were cocky because they had just come on down and beat all the Chinese and beat everybody, 17th Air Force. They were the cream of the crop. That was their cream of the crop. That we were fighting. Because we were the first B-24s in the Pacific. Because this, remember now, this is 1942. And in 1941, when they struck Pearl Harbor, they cleaned out that whole thing. They were getting ready to take Australia at that point.
Do you remember exactly what you were doing when you found out about Pearl Harbor?
Pearl Harbor, yes. I was at Camp Wheeler, Macon, Georgia. Oh, yeah. We were at Sunday. I guess we came in on the bus on a movie, and they told everybody to get back to the base. We got on back to the base, and then I got orders to report to the Air Force. Oh, yeah.
These are some great
But you got
pictures.
all the stuff here. I don't know. I brought it, and I got all, and they gave me all these medals, but that's about all there is to it.
Would you like to tell us about your medals?
Well, there's really not much to tell. on the thing that gave it to you because of certain campaigns that they called, that I was part of. And that, for that, and the flying course was given because I had 40 missions, which is a hell of a lot, and came home.
How did it feel?
Ma'am?
How did it make you feel having the most missions in your unit?
Well, I felt great about the thing, but I just felt my number was getting too close on that. But I would fly with that same crew, but the other crews, we lost six out of there that I had flown with. Unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I wasn't there on that day, on night. But it wasn't fun. As you can tell you here, I know one of our last missions was running into a bunch of the Japanese. And thank goodness they were low on fuel. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, because they had to make it home too. But that's in Australia. This is Iron Range. It goes on. My crew, Sky Lady, there's my combat crews that we had. All the combat people, that's me. And in March, I was in the newsreels, and in those days in the movies, they put the Matt Pathé News on way back then. And see, my family didn't know where I was, but they had a good idea, and they saw, one of my cousins saw me on the Pathé News. And didn't tell us where, they told us it was in Southwest Pacific.
How did you keep in touch with your family while you were?
You just write in mail.
Just write mail?
Email.
Did you write a lot of letters?
That's the only way to know. And that's it. Well, you haven't asked many questions, so I don't know what to
Oh, you're
tell
giving
you.
us great stuff.
I know.
You're
You have to
answering my
read all this
questions
and,
before I
oh, no,
ask them.
that part of it and so forth. But my logbook I cannot find. But it's not today. What do you do when you go in an airplane and you don't need a navigator? All you do is press a button and you got special beams that come out and tell you, they pinpoint you within 10 feet of where you are. So that's just an act. In fact, you don't need a navigator. But in those days,
Very important.
very bad. But that's it.
That's it. Thank you very much for talking
But
with
you
us.
sure haven't asked any questions. That's all I can tell you.
All of my questions, you pretty much answered them for me. You're giving us
Huh?
great stuff.
I can't hear. I'm a little hard of hearing at my age
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Most of the
I'm 87.
questions that I have written down, you've already answered them.
Really?
Because you're giving us great stuff.
So, but, yep.
Mhm. Have you watched any World War II movies, like today?
Yeah,
And
I
are they
watched.
accurate?
Yeah, I watch on the 5th Air Force or Virginia, working our way up to General MacArthur. See, MacArthur, we didn't think too much of it because, as I say, besides the headlines, as many times, we'd have maybe just enough gas to make it back to our airfield. Because we have to go to Japanese territory, we have to go over this mountain, Owen Stanley Mountain. And in Owen Stanley, there was a little valley, like daytime you could see it if there's no clouds. And we lost many things. In fact, even to today, they still finding the remains of planes in New Guinea.
Wow. Did you have any family members serve?
Family members, what?
Family members serve in the Army at the same time that you did?
No, I lost my parents when I was young, and my sister brought me up. No, there was nobody, I had all my friends actually, relatives, but I was the only, no one in my family but myself. I would always tell them I volunteer for them. But that was it, that part of it. And this is just gives you things about what we did, so forth. But we had missions they were thinking of. There's a big Japanese base there called T-R-U-K. And they were going to have a 3-plane mission, take off and have a surprise bombing mission on there. And there was no way they had enough fuel to get back home. Fortunately, I was going to be on one of the planes. But at the last minute, they scuttled that. And they just figured there just wasn't a chance for us to get there and make it back. We'd have to land in enemy territory. But that's the way missions were in those days. You lost too many, just like these boys that you're losing today. You lost too many.
What mission did you have that just sticks out in your brain?
That one mission right there,
That
that
one
they
right
tell you
there.
on that one, we were hit with about 20 zeros. Come on in on the way, shot our engine out, crash land on the shoreline, and made it back home. Yeah. But all of them, I mean, I was just fortunate. I mean, I'm doing my thing, and blood would just thought get hit. It was the gunner got shot. And that it wasn't fun. Bombardiers, that strafing, shooting.
Did you have any rituals or good luck charms?
Can't hear you.
Did you have any rituals or good luck charms before you went on missions?
I probably had something, yeah, I did. I don't know what I did with it. I think it was a ring that I might have worn or something, yeah. You get very superstitious. You do everything the same as you did. You try to wear the same clothes. You're very superstitious, very. And you know, when you're in a mission, of course, you don't sleep that night. And they come around about 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it is, get you up and out. So, yeah, and then you don't know if you're coming home. You don't know if the guys in the next tent are gonna be there.
Did you have any, like, paintings on your plane?
Yeah,
I've seen
that's Sky
these,
Ladies.
pictures.
Thought you saw it. Oh, yeah, I got Sky Lady home. Well, our plane was called, my last plane now. The last pilot I flew with. Sky Lady's the one that was in the Pathé News. I don't know if they have to have it in here. 'Cause I got it home. Anyway, yeah. It's called Sky Lady.
Did she look like? Was she pretty? Like the paintings and stuff on it. I'm noticing the skulls on
Yeah.
there. Did everyone?
That's what they call themselves after we left, the Black Pirate.
Pirates.
When I was there, then this is the plane, but you can't see Sky Lady. This is the combat cruise, right here. That was Sky Lady.
Why is they called the Black Pirates?
I can't answer Black Pirates. I can't. That's the guy, the colonel at that time decided to call it the Black Pirates. That's a good question, but I have no idea why he called it the Black Pirates. He just figured that and I got credit for shooting down two standards of destruction of enemy aircraft. Because you get up. But that's about it. Unless you people have some more. There's a lot of papers here that I brought. Maps here. This is places we've been to. Hollandia. You go one day and you find missionaries, the next day you come, they're shooting at you because the Japanese came in and took it over. Gasmata, Farm, Leh, Caviang, and Newark. That's a island, New Britain. All these are these islands all around the Southwest Pacific that the Japanese controlled. Wewak. No, it wasn't funny. Rabaul was the biggest thing there. Leh, recaptured. Salamaua. All these island towns on the other side of New Guinea that the Japanese controlled. Native villages. But you'd have to go through that if you wanted to, know anything about it.
Was there anything else that you'd like to tell me about?
Well, unless you want to ask me, I just felt, you would ask some more questions.
You've
and
given
so
us some
forth.
great stuff, though.
Well, I've forgotten so much of it. I wish I had my logbook that tell you everything, each and every mission that I flew. We kept how to keep it, and then we always, intelligence would critique you when you got back. We were all over in those islands. We'd come down, B-24 is not supposed to be used to strafe. We'd go down as low as we possibly could.
I have another question for you.
To get the enemy.
How did your religion affect you?
Religion was very rough. You see, I'm Jewish. And when I said to a couple of boys, there was 2 navigators were Jewish in that group, in our squadron, and they refused to fly.
Were you treated
That's when
differently?
I came, jumped in and took their place.
Wow.
And that's when I flew those 7 missions in 10 days.
10 days?
10 days.
Wow.
And I told Colter, that's when I told my Major Bullis that was it. And I kept losing those others. I flew, but the one I ended up with, Captain Menge.
How did you celebrate the holidays?
We didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't. There was no such thing.
Mm.
No, I didn't. No. It was war. No, I didn't do that. No?
Thank you very much for coming to talk with us today.
Well, I brought a lot of stuff.
This sounds fantastic.
Michelle,